Hello everyone, Amanda here. Thank you so much for joining me. I've got a fantastic full tutorial to share with you today to make this beauty. It's a long video, but I share everything, how to make it, how to decorate it, even how to resize it and make it out of cardstock, because this is made out of a file folder. So let me quickly show you what it looks like. It's fantastic. It's packed with ephemera. It's absolutely beautiful. We've got pockets galore filled with beautiful things. We've got extra tuck spots. I show you how to create them. I do it all step by step. So if you'd love to make this fantastic folio, it can either be a folio, or you can, look how many pockets there is, or so it can be a folio like I showed, or you can fold it like so and sew it in the center of a journal signature. How fabulous is that? Let me show you how to make it. So I'm using a standard file folder for this. If you keep watching, after I've done this part, I will tell you how you can do it without using a file folder and give you the measurements for a cardstock version. So you're going to grab your file folder. You want the top tab to the left. Just flip it over to make it easier for yourself and score it at your desired height. Now you can do what you like. I'm going to go to 7.5 because I want it to go inside my journal, and my journals typically top to bottom measure 8.5, so I want it to fit within there. But you can do them at 8, you could do them at 5, you can do them whatever you like. Okay, so we've got that score there, and that's going to determine the height of our insert. So I'm just going to quickly fold along that line. And then you're going to fold this tab on your right. You're going to fold to the middle, and just a little hair width away, maybe 1/8 of an inch away from the main fold of your file folder. So on file folders, you've got these 3 little scores, and you've got your main fold. So just away from your main fold. Okay, line it up at the top to get it straight, and then crease it all the way down to the bottom. Now your crease may not be exactly straight. See there, it's not exactly straight. These are just file folders. They're not perfectly symmetrical or mathematically cut, but it doesn't matter. It adds to the interest. Then what you want to do is fold that over, and then fold this left side tab over. Okay, so you're folding it over, and you're going to, not too tight, line it up at the top so at least you've got one end perfectly straight, and then you're going to crease it. So then these bottom pieces here are going to create pockets or flaps. Again, it's up to you how you do it. You can play with them and come up with what you like. So I'm going to start with the first score line, which is your main folding line that from the original format of the folder, and I'm going to cut to the very close right side of that score line, and then I'm going to cut very close to the left side of it. So I'm basically cutting that score line away a very small amount. It just helps it close. Okay, so snip that away. Then you want to cut up these sections here. So again, I'm just going to reinforce that fold. Okay, and we're going to very gently cut either side of that fold line again, just a tiny sliver to each side. Okay, just to cut that score line away and leave yourself a small amount so that when you lift the pockets up, it's not on the fold. Okay, now as you go, you may find that you need to notch that slightly deeper. Mine's not terribly straight. I may probably straighten that up a little bit. Okay, and then I'm going to do the other side. So you're just cutting either side of that fold line and taking away a sliver. Okay, so then you've got 4 flaps. Now there's various ways you can do this. You can lift them up and just have a pocket in each middle, like that, all the way, okay? You could lift that one around and have it that way. You could have one going that way, one going that way. You can reduce the size of them. You can have them as flaps and put a small pocket there. You can add another pocket on there. You could lift that way. Okay, you can do various things. So the first thing that I'm going to do is, if you look at these two here, they've got the original curved shape of the file folder. Now that can be difficult to mat. Okay, it can be very difficult to mat. So I'm going to grab my trimmer. I'm going to sneeze. I'm going to sneeze and... Excuse me. I'm going to grab my trimmer and I'm going to just slice those so that that curve is away. So I'm going to put it as straight as I can in my trimmer. Okay. I'm not going with that as a straight line. I'm trying to guide from here because I've hand cut that, so it might not be terribly straight. And I'm just going to trim that off so that it's a straight line to start with. It just makes things a little bit easier. Like I say, when you come to do the matting and layering, you don't have to try and get round that funky shape. Okay. So now this is where you decide how you're going to have it. So I'm going to have these two as angled pockets. Okay. So I'm going to grab a pencil and I'm going to measure 2 inches in. So here's my pocket. I'm going to measure 2 inches in and make a mark, and 2 inches up and make a mark. And then on the other side, I'm going to do it the other way. So 2 inches in from that side and 2 inches up from that side. And that will give me angled pockets. Okay. So 2 inches. 2 inches. Join them up. Yep. And we're going to do the same here. I think that pencil's blunt. Let me try a different one. 2 inches here and 2 inches up here. Make a mark. And then I can cut those away and I've got angled pockets. Now you can save that piece and you could glue it there as an extra little tuck. Okay, can you glue it there? No, you can glue it there as a little tuck for ephemera. You know, mini ephemera. So I'll save that. I may do that, I may not. And then I'm just going to cut this one. Okay, then at this point I'm going to decide where I'm going to have my pockets to determine what I do with these. So I've decided that on these, what I'm going to call the inside covers, that I'm going to put some kind of paper pocket there using my papers. So these I'm going to tuck behind. Okay, so you're tucking those behind. And this is going to fold down like so. Okay, so what am I going to do with this pocket? I think I may just do the angle again the same to keep it kind of consistent, to make it easy. So 2 inches from there and 2 inches from there. Join it up and make another angled pocket and cut that away. And again, save the triangle in case I decide I want to use it as a little mini tuck space there. You could put little tickets or something. So I'll save it and I'll think about it. Okay, so that's that. Now this is going to fold in like that, and then that piece is going to fold over. So this piece here, okay, I need to think about what I'm going to do. We've got this curve here. So again, just for ease of design and to make it easier for you, if we go in again at 2 inches there and 2 inches up, make a line. I'm going to have another angled pocket. Why not? Yeah, and I will cut that away. Okay. Okay, again, you could save that and you could have a little mini tuck there, or you could make your own pocket. You could do what you like. You can see I've not cut that terribly straight there. I'm not too worried. I'll neaten it up and it's fine. Now you're going to ink all of it, every single edge, every single flap. You want to ink it, and then you want to decide what you're layering on these back panels, which paper you're going to layer on these back panels, and glue those down before you glue any pockets or flaps down. Because once you've glued that down, you're not going to get your paper in right. And also, if you have got some discrepancy about the straightness of your cut there, it doesn't matter, it's part of the dance, okay? Your paper will be behind it and it will end up looking neat. Now, once you've laid your paper, you can also go in, before you glue anything down, and sew around everything with your sewing machine to add an extra touch, okay? Am I going to do that? I don't know, you'll have to wait and see. So it's going to go, those are going to go up, and we're going to, once we've laid our paper and done all our inking, we're going to glue it on the side and the bottom, then lay your patterned paper over, okay? And the same here, side and bottom, and then for this one, again, side and bottom, and then this one here, again, side and bottom. Now, those are going to be non-true pockets because you're going to have your glue there, so it's going to encroach on the size of your pocket. If you want a true pocket, you'll need to make strips. This is not wide enough. You'll need to make strips. So imagine this is a 1 inch or ½ inch strip of card. You'd then fold it in half, okay? You'd glue half to the back of the pocket and half to the file folder, and you make it the height of it. And that will give you more, the full width of the pocket. I'm not too worried about that, okay? So again, with flaps up, flap to the back, that goes in. It folds in again, and then that folds over, and then you've got this kind of layered look, okay? So I will choose my papers and I will decorate it and I will come back. But before that, I'm just going to give you the measurements if you don't have file folders, so you can still get the same effect. So what you'd need is, you'd need 18 inches of card, okay, in the width. Now you can do that by joining two 12 by 12s together, or let me think, or a 12 by 12 and an A4. And then, you know, the height would be whatever height you want. So, no, the height would be 11 and, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're about 11 and 5/8, these. 11 and 5/8, 11 and 3/4. So your 12 by 12 is your best option. And then, obviously, you'd score at whatever height you want. I've done mine at, what did I do it at? 7.5, okay? And then from the outer edge in, you would score at 4 inches, 8 7/8, and then because it would be a long piece, because you've joined it together to get 18 inches, you lift this one up and put it back against the 0 in your scoreboard and score at 4 7/8. So I'll give you that again. So 18 inches by the 11 and, what is it? 11 and 7/8. 1, 2, 3, 4. 11 and 5/8 to 11 and 3/4. Okay. Put it in your scoreboard. 4 inches, 8 7/8. Lift that fold up, put it back against the 0 in your scoreboard and score at 4 7/8. You can make these tab shapes very easily in your envelope punch board. Okay. This tab measures in height 3.5 and it goes in at 1/2 inch. And then this one measures 3.5. So the tabs are both 3.5. So you could do this using cardstock very easily if you don't have the file folders. All right. So there we go. So I will go and ink all of mine, pick my pattern papers, and then we will be back. Okay, so I have laid all of my papers down. I've inked them before I've put them down. When I've done the back pieces, I have cut them the full size so that when you lay the pocket over, if there's any like gaps where you've not cut it perfect, you've got paper behind. The pockets I made from just my normal printer paper, and then I lined the back with some old book pages just to make them a bit more sturdy, and I sewed all the way around those before I glued them in. Okay, so do that before you glue them in. As for these tabs, it is very much a case of laying your paper underneath, okay, drawing around it like this, and then cutting to the inside of the line, so cutting it a little bit shorter. There's a lot of what I call eyeballing with file folders. You can't mat and layer the same as you do with, you know, flush cut cardstock. You've got to do a lot of it by eye. So hold your paper on, have a look, mark with pencils, because, you know, nothing's going to be perfect and nothing's going to be absolutely bang on. But that's the joy of these. It's freeing. So we've got pockets here, okay, I've lined everything. The joy of these papers, which is my gentleman's diary collection, is a lot of them are like collage. So it doesn't matter which ones you put next to each other. So you don't need to worry about, oh, what paper looks nice next to where. They all look nice. So what I'm going to do now is, I'll just quickly show you again how it's going to go. Okay, so that's going to fold up. These pockets are going to fold in. Okay. You've got a pocket there, that's going to fold in. You've got a pocket there, that's going to fold in. You've got a full, I don't know what I'm doing there, I might put something here to tuck something. You've got a pocket here that folds in, and that's going to fold up. And then there's your back. So I'm just going to, before I glue those flaps, I'm going to sew with my black thread and my sewing machine very carefully all the way around the perimeters, all the way around there, all the way around there. All the way around there and around my pockets. Okay, and when I've done that, I will be back. So here's the finished folio, ready for decorating. I've done very, very tatty stitching. A, because my sewing machine hates me, and B, because I'm rubbish at sewing, but it looks really cool. So in these little pockets, I've put some vintage ephemera. I've heaps of collections for sale of vintage ephemera on my Ko-fi site, and there's heaps available for members. Go and have a nosy around and see what there is. So let's start and fill it. Let's have a look what we're going to put in the front. I quite like this dragonfly, and then these little bulldog clips are in the collection as a fussy cut. I just feel like I want a little bit of something on there. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. What have I got? I quite like this. So I'm just going to add a few bits and bobs. Everything that I'm using is available on my Ko-fi somewhere. So mixing and matching the collections. Or you can use what you've got. You don't have to use my things. I'm just adding a pop of red there because I know I'm going to use red twine to close it. So that will just slide in there like so. Okay, looks cool already. So we've got something in that pocket. I'm leaving that plain, I think, because just so you can see that, you could add like a clip there, like, let's have a look. Have I got some little ones? Are they in there? Like a little clip, and add some note paper. Okay, you could do that, or like a tag. Okay. And now I'm lucky, I've got heaps of tags all ready to go to stuff in any pocket that needs something in. And this is in my tags mega bundle or something. I've called it something silly like that. So I'm never stuck for anything. All right. I think I might just add a little photo here like that. Maybe a little ticket under there. Okay, so that's that. Let's have a look in here. So in here I want to use some of the tags from the collection. So let's have a look. We'll have, that's samey, isn't it? bit samey, but it doesn't matter. So I can have that like that, that like that. And then I've got these with the gentleman on, so I can have 2 in there. Have 2 in there. Have I glued that down? There we go. Just a bit too much glue. Just release it. Okay, and then where else have I got a pocket? I've got a pocket here. Alright, I've also got these lovely large tags. They're like specimen frames. Should I put that in there and layer up? Might have that there layered up like that. That looks cool. Do I need something? I've got something in every pocket. Okay, so let's just add a few more bits for interest. A little photograph here and a little photograph there maybe. What have we got here? Maybe another little photograph, because there's heaps in this collection. Right, so let's have a think. So that's going to be the front cover. I think I might leave that. Quite like that as it is. Let me think. I know I want to just do something a little bit here. I came up with a little bit of an arrangement. So we've got this little fussy cut book and some spectacles. I thought that would be cool. And then I've got some scraps left over. So I thought I might make some sort of assemblage here. Okay. So I'm just going to, but I'm trying to do it really quickly so that the video is not too long. Okay, just give that an ink. Let's have a look. So I'm going to have those numbers peeking there. I've got some more numbers here from my, these are in the word soup, aren't they? I have some more numbers. Let's have a think. Yeah, let's just rip it, distress it, ink it and glue it. Okay. And what we're going to do here is we're going to layer it like so, I think, so that then this can be a little tuck. So let's get that all glued down. So I can glue this flat. I'm in shot. Like so. And then I'm just going to glue this maybe here and here. Like that. And then I wanted the little numbers along here, overlapping. And then where's my spectacles? Here we go. I have my spectacles there. Yep. So we can glue all of that and half of this and leave the rest unglued so that we can access. This is a little tuck-in area, and then we've got these little tickets and I've got these little things. There's all sorts in the kit that you can just add in. Okay, what else have I got here? That's the same. That's the same. Quite like that little ticket there. I might put that in there. You can put as much or as little as you like in. Quite like that there. Want something else to go in there. Let's have this photo. Yeah, so you can have a little interesting thing going on there. And you can use these from the word soup like washi tape. I think I've got some black ones. Did I print out any black ones? Let me have a look. I did do them in black, and I think I might have used them all on something else. I can always add that later. But these numbers here, I've got them like this, black and white. So I might add that later. Okay. Let's have a look. Shall we add a little butterfly in the mix so that we've got a real collection? Yes, that's nice. I like that. So this is just like the set. This is like the centre, I suppose. So I'm just adding there. And what we got here, we've got this fabulous piece here. I've got a little ticket. What else have I got? I've got another large butterfly. I could just have it like that. Yeah, that's cool. I've got some leftover paper from earlier. I think I like it just like that, actually. Maybe layer another one of these over. So you can really have fun decorating these, because it's just a little mini project, and sometimes these are cool to do if you're not in the mood for like a larger project. So again, I'm just going to glue this down on the bottom and kind of on the side, so that if I wanted to, I could tuck something in there. Okay, I had that ticket like that. Yeah, so I'm just going to glue that here and here. I'm going to get that in quickly before my glue dries. I can still see those numbers. It's upside down, but never mind. Let's, yeah, quite like that, like that. Slide that under there like so. So you've got a lot of pretty layers going on. Stick that down, stick that down, but not the top bit. And then if I just use this to anchor my layers so it doesn't look like everything's floating. Like that. Quite like to see the bottom of that, to be honest. So let's have it here like this. Like so. And we've got something interesting there to tuck something if we wanted, like so. Okay. Have I got a little photo to put in there? I don't know if I've got, I don't think I've brought everything to the table. So that looks cool. I'm happy with that. Let's have a look, see what else we could add. We've got some little stamps. I could add that to that tag to just add a pop of colour. Like so. Let's change that up a bit. And let me get my favourite little paper clips and add a little something there. I'm going to fold that over and ink it so that it looks a bit more distressed. Another little paper clip over here. And it's just a tiny little detail that makes things look fun. Okay. Do I want some words down here? Quite like those words down there as well. Let's just rip the ends. Distress it. Distress it. Inky, ink, ink. You could put a word down there maybe. Yeah, I quite like that. Stick that in there. That's fun. Just making it look a little bit vintage and grungy, which is not normally my thing, but I'm just in the mood for it. And then I've got a little bit of a number that can go there maybe. For this one, something a bit different. Yeah. So how long do I need it? About there. Just rip it. Rip the top so you've not got even. Give it a distress. Ink, ink, ink. Ink, ink, ink. Stick that on there, on that tab there. That's cute. Okay, I think we've just about done that. So what can we do here? I think I'm just going to maybe add just a little ticket and a label there. I don't think I want to add a right lot because I like these birds here. So I'm just going to distress this. I'm not going to add this as a tuck spot because you can overfill them and then they won't close nicely. We don't want that. Okay. These are from one of my label kits. Label mega bundle or something. I called it something silly. I always do. Okay, so we'll stick that ticket there. And then this file can go over the top. And just offset it a little. Let's bring that down a bit. Okay, cool. That's cool. All right. I don't want anything there. That's the back. So there we go. How cool is that? With all of these lovely little things to look at. So that folds in. Now you can do this two ways. You can fold that in, which is what I'm going to do. Fold it again and fold it again. Or you could, okay, fold that, sew that in the centre of a signature. Okay, and then put something like, I've got some book labels somewhere. Something like one of these book labels. I've got these in the kit. And put one of those on to make it look like it's a little book. Okay, that's another way that you could use this. All right, I think I'm going to just wrap it around with some twine. I've done myself an eyelet here. I've got another one of these. They'd be cool dangling off the ends, wouldn't they? I've got these in my kit. I might print some more out and glue those on the end of my strings, these little wax seals. That'd look cool. How am I doing this now? How am I doing it? I don't know. I think I'm going to loop it from the front and push it through. Just take this tag out. Come on, you slippery little sucker. And then do that. I might take this string out and I might just run it under my distress tool. You know, to just take the glariness of that white off, but I'll do that later. Let me put my tag back in. And you can make heaps of these. I'm going to have this as a, I'm going to make a few things. And along with my gentleman diary journal, I'm going to have a bundle of these things. And maybe make like I don't know, a full leather suitcase or wallet or binder or something to put them all in. Okay, so that's that one. I can just wrap it around again. I could tie it in a bow, but I'm not in the mood for bows. Just pull that like so. That'll keep that tidy. And we also did make this over on my Ko-fi. This was a private members video, and this is another thing that you could put in it, and it's a little ephemera flip. So you've got a tag there that opens. You've got a little tuck there, a little tuck there, and there. I love this kind of thing. They're like little mystery boxes, and then I've got some ephemera in there. Okay, and then it all wraps around. You could bind them together so it's like a bundle if you've made one of these. Okay, and there you go. So I hope you like that. I hope you'll give it a try. Thanks for watching. Big love to you all, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.